listener production.
Hey, Bension Siebert here. Happy Friday and welcome to this special Eurovision 2024 edition of The Briefing. I'm here in Listener's Melbourne studio in my sparkly silver singlet, and The Briefing's digital producer and Eurovision expert Chris Spyrou is in the Sydney studio. Tell us what you're wearing for the occasion, Chris.
Look, I am adorned in a beautiful hat from my motherland. It has the plain words Greece written on it, and I'm wearing a t-shirt that I may or may not have taken from a motorbike rental place in Cyprus.
I just have to say, Chris, I am a little disappointed in your outfit today. It's not quite camp enough for me.
I know, it's giving more like someone that drives a truck on weekdays. It's giving trucker boy as opposed to Eurovision lover, but I swear, do not let this outfit deceive you. I'm probably Australia's biggest Eurovision fan.
Wow. Okay, that's a big claim. So, Chris, this weekend, it's, of course, Eurovision Grand Final time, and we're going to be bringing you everything you need to know. But let's first talk about the story of Eurovision, because it is actually a really fascinating story. This whole thing began all the way back in 1956 as an expression of unity and goodwill after World War II. And it was a technical experiment as a big live televised music competition across so many borders. Now, at the start, only 7 countries competed, but now it includes European countries, North African countries, Middle Eastern countries, and Australia. So, Chris, Australia is famously not in Europe. How come we're part of Eurovision at all?
Oh, look, Bension, I don't think words can do it justice. If I could just get producer Helen out there to just play something for me. Oh, look, Eurovision is actually less about geography and it's more about membership with the Broadcasting Union, who organise the Eurovision Song Contest. So that is the European Broadcasting Union, and SBS, which is our multicultural national broadcaster, is an associate member with the EBU, and they've actually broadcasted every show since 1983. It was, in fact, in 2014 that Australia was first invited to take part in Eurovision, not as a competitor, but to perform as part of an interval act. And we sent our very own national treasure, Jess Malboy. She
her.
nailed Sea of Flags. Iconic. I wish we had the grab, but we've been told by legal we're not allowed to play too many. And she absolutely smashed it. And Europe was like, oh my God, Australia's a beacon of talent. Let's have them part of every year. I don't know if that's a direct quote, but I feel that was the vibe. Then we were officially invited in 2015 to take part in the contest for its 60th anniversary. So we sent off Guy Sebastian, our Australian idol, and he performed where he actually placed 5th. Now we're on our 10th year, taken to the Eurovision stage.
So tell us about Electric Fields, because that was our entry this year.
Oh, Electric Fields, where do I begin? They're from South Australia. It's made up of vocalist Zachariah Fielding and producer keyboardist, that's a really funny word to say, Michael Ross. Now, both of these guys, they were solo artists in their own right. They've kind of gone down the reality TV route. They've done X Factor. Zachariah did The Voice as part of a duo, ZK, if anyone remembers. He was in Team will.i.am, iconic performances. And this isn't the first time that they've had a crack at representing Australia in Eurovision. They were actually part of our 2019 national selection process, and they actually came second in 2019. So Australia was part of semi-final 1. Unfortunately, we did not qualify. And look, it was devastating and it shocked a lot of people because it was a history-making performance. You know, it was the first time an Aboriginal language featured on the Eurovision stage. It was the first time a didgeridoo was ever a part of this contest. And it's the first time Australia actually sent a duo. So all the odds were kind of in our favour and just didn't work out in the end, which sucks.
So we should also tell people about the rules because they are very specific. So it's maximum of 3 minutes per song. There is no lip syncing. There is no auto-tune. It's a maximum of 6 performers and there are no animals. Just no animals, okay? If you're thinking of putting like a lion on, no. You can't. There is public
Sorry,
voting
Britney Spears, no pythons allowed on stage.
Zero animals. There's two different groups of people who vote. There's the public voting through televoting, it's called. And then there's a national jury for each country, which is appointed by each broadcaster, and they have 50-50 weighting. And then the final rule, which is also very important, is that people can only vote for other countries. They can't vote for their own. We should talk about the history of absolute scandal that has rocked Eurovision, because it's supposed to be this apolitical contest, but even from the very, very start, it had this political project, which is basically peace in Europe. My favourite of these scandals is in 1978, where Jordan refused to air Israel's entry into Eurovision, and instead they broadcast a picture of flowers during their performance. And then when it became obvious that Israel was going to win the contest, they cut off the broadcast of Eurovision, and then they announced that Belgium won.
Oh, incredible.
Belgium did not win.
Oh, I applaud the pettiness. And look, and a reoccurring theme is, of course, the scandal surrounding Russia. In 2015, Eurovision actually introduced anti-booing tech to protect one of the Russian performers at the time. And in 2022, they were famously denied the right to perform over their invasion of Ukraine.
All of which, of course, brings us to this year's major scandal, which is the international controversy over Israel and Palestine and Israel's inclusion in Eurovision. So Israel's entry was called October Rain, and it had a bunch of pretty explicit references to the October 7 massacre. And with the Eurovision rules, there can be no politics, of course, but they had to get their lyrics changed. They renamed the song to Hurricane, and there's been a lot of artists who've actually called for Israel to be banned from the competition, just like Russia was in 2022.
Yeah, at the moment outside of the stadium in Malmö in Sweden, Swedish police have reported that there's about 12,000 protesters, pro-Palestine protesters, that are calling for Israel to be removed from the singing contest. And the Deputy Director General of the EBU has actually come out and said that they are not going to exclude Israel because that would be a political decision. And like you said, Bension, it is an apolitical contest according to their rules.
Yeah, but of course, there's a lot of people who are very angry about this decision. Just a few hours ago, as we record this episode, Belgian TV shut off the Eurovision broadcast temporarily and had a message on the screen which was pro-Palestine. So this is obviously an issue that's going to continue all the way through to the grand final. Okay, so now let's talk about the music itself. What are the bookies predicting will be the top songs at the grand final this year?
I'm so glad that you asked this question. The bookies have predicted the top 5 people. It starts with the Netherlands, which is actually my favourite song at the moment. Their song is called Euro Papa. Can we play a grab of that?
I love you all! Welkom in Europa, blijf hier tot ik doodga. Europa, Europa. Welkom in Europa, blijf hier tot ik doodga. Europa. Bezoek mijn friends and friends.
Oh, look, Benson, that's a banger.
Yeah, it gives Lonely Island. It gives I'm on a boat. It gives I Just Had Sex. Or maybe Barbie Girl. I'm thinking.
I love all the trivial references. It's actually a tribute to his parents that passed away when he was quite young, it's actually actually an ode to his father.
Oh God, I feel bad about that now. Let's move on. What is La Noia?
Look, La Noia is actually Italy's entry, and it's by Angelina Mango. It's really cool. I mean, it's very Italian. There's no English in it. She's stuck to the native language, which is a bit of a wave we're seeing in Eurovision lately, that people are singing in their native tongues. They've picked her as number 4, so let's just see how that one works out.
And number 3 is called Teresa and Maria, and it's from Ukraine. And I love this one because it's a rap about Mother Teresa and Mother Mary.
Yeah, it's very much like Black Eyed Peas' Where Is the Love kind of vibes. There's strong vocals, there's strong rapping. We love a duet. We love big dramatic vocals. Eurovision laps that right up.
Okay, so number 2, we have Switzerland, and this is The Code by Nemo.
Yeah, look, they're an interesting cat. They're giving off Temu Harry Styles. They rock around with Billy Chul. They're running around the stage like a clown. But I will say the energy is fun. The vocals are amazing.
Okay, and
not that anyone
number
asked,
one,
but I agree with it.
And at number 1, according to the odds right now, we've got Croatia, and this is an artist called Baby Lasagna. And the song is Rim Tim Tuggy Tim. Let's hear that right now. Wow.
Man. Yeah. And look, that live is another level.
It's so much fun. Chris, if we are watching on Sunday morning Australia time, what do we need to know about that?
That's right. If you are watching on Sunday morning, make sure you set your alarm for 5 a.m. or a little bit earlier to get to the TV. It will be live streamed on SBS On Demand. It will be on SBS on your television. And remember, you can vote in Australia. You can vote for your favourite act via the Eurovision app or Eurovision website on Grand Final Day, or follow the SMS or number prompts that pop up on your screen that morning.
All right, Chris. Well, I cannot wait. And I'm sure you can't either. We'll see you on Sunday.
Oh, so excited for it.
So that's it for the briefing this Friday. Look out for the weekend briefing on Saturday, and I'll be back on Monday. Catch you then.